The teasers dropped, the fandom went silent. In an instant, the entire K-pop world was turned upside down. Are we witnessing the end of an era? Welcome to StarScope K-Report. Join Eric and Minji as they ride the Hallyu wave, uncovering the biggest K-pop comebacks, shocking industry controversies, and major K-drama updates. From internet-breaking rumors to historic chart milestones, we dive deep into the world of Korean entertainment.
It is honestly an incredibly heavy news week.
Oh, absolutely.
And frankly, the timeline is just in absolute chaos right now, like everywhere you look.
Panic is definitely the word I'd use. Today, our mission in this deep dive is to unpack the viral headline that is currently giving, like, every multi-stan a minor heart attack.
Yeah, the big one.
Right. The "no one is left, twice mass exodus confirmed" headline. So we're going to separate the Knet's rumors from the official agency statements and really look at how this is shaking the very foundation of JYP Entertainment.
Because we're basically looking at the entire concept of K-pop group longevity here.
Precisely. We are framing this entire deep dive around one core theme, which is the business of K-pop brotherhood and sisterhood. Because, well, on one hand, you have this legendary girl group dealing with the absolute logistical nightmare of maintaining a genuine decade-long bond across competing corporate interests.
Right.
And on the other hand, later in the deep dive, we're looking at a boy group where the corporate structure is perfectly intact, but the actual human bond seems to be publicly fracturing.
Which is just so messy.
It really is. So if you were sitting there stressing over this whole contract renewal season, consider this your ultimate survival guide. We've got you covered.
Let's start with the Trailblazers then. Twice is officially entering their 12th year since debut.
Wow, 12 years.
Yeah. That timeline triggers their highly anticipated second contract renewal season, following their first successful renegotiation back in 2022.
But the landscape looks very different this time around because the first dominoes have officially fallen.
They have.
Let's lay out the confirmed facts first. On August 10th, Jeongyeon confirmed her exit after spending 16 years, literally over half her life with JYP.
It's just wild to think about.
I know, right? She signed with VARO Entertainment to pursue acting alongside her sister, Gong Seung-yeon. And then, merely days later, Chaeyoung announced she's also departing to establish her own independent label called LIL FANTASY.
And I just have to say, the shockwaves that sent through the fandom were visceral.
Oh, I bet.
I mean, when those initial reports broke, the immediate fear was a permanent hiatus. Twice's entire brand, like their absolute superpower, has always been this impenetrable 9-member solidarity.
Right.
So seeing official confirmation of departures felt like the ground giving way. But honestly, how both members handled the messaging was just a masterclass in crisis management.
Because they reassured everyone immediately.
Exactly. Chaeyoung explicitly insisted she remains, quote, Chaeyoung of Twice. And Jeongyeon released this super emotional handwritten letter stating the group remains the center of her life.
Okay, I understand the sentiment, but let's look at the actual mechanics of that. I mean, Jeongyeon called JYP her second home, so clearly it wasn't a bitter exit.
No, not at all.
But how does this actually work in practice? If you leave the agency that literally owns the group's trademark, how do you stay in the group?
Well, it really comes down to a group activity clause in their new individual contracts.
Okay, what does that look like?
Essentially, their new agencies, so VARO and LIL FANTASY, have to legally agree to carve out massive blocks of the artists' schedules, specifically for JYP-managed Twice comebacks and tours.
Okay, wait, let's use an analogy here. I keep seeing people compare this to moving out of your parents' house to get your own place, but keeping your room and staying on the family group chat.
Right, yeah, I've seen that tweet.
But from a business perspective, that feels way too simplistic, doesn't it? This feels more like the Marvel Cinematic Universe assembling the Avengers.
Oh, wow. Okay, that is a much better way to look at it, actually.
Right, because if Jihyo is Iron Man and Tzuyu is Thor, they now belong to entirely different movie studios for their solo projects. So when JYP, acting as Disney in this scenario, wants to make an Avengers movie, meaning a massive Twice world tour, they can't just command the members to show up anymore.
No, they absolutely cannot.
They have to negotiate with 5 different rival agencies, coordinate conflicting promotional schedules, and figure out a huge profit-sharing agreement.
And that is an absolute logistical nightmare for the A&R and management teams. You're dealing with literal rival corporate interests.
Exactly.
Like if Chaeyoung's indie label wants to drop her highly anticipated solo album the exact same month, JYP wants to schedule a Twice stadium tour in Japan. Who wins?
That's the million-dollar question.
Yeah, that's why the fandom is holding its breath right now. Well, wait till you hear what netizens uncovered about the group's leader and maknae. If you love staying updated on your favorites, make sure you subscribe to StarScope K-Report. We've got even bigger scoops ahead.
We really do. Let's get into the rumor mill because the speculation surrounding the unconfirmed exits is fascinating. We need to talk about Jihyo, Tzuyu, and Dahyun.
Yes, the rumor mill is spinning.
Let's start with the leader, Jihyo. She's been with JYP for 21 years, joining as a trainee back in 2005. Following her critically acclaimed solo album, Zone, in 2023, rumors are swirling that she is starting her own one-person agency.
Which is huge.
It is, but I have to push back on this trend. I see idols do this, and I don't just see a power move. I see a massive financial risk.
Oh, it is risky.
Why would she leave the big four infrastructure? You're giving up in-house producers, a guaranteed marketing budget, and global distribution networks just so you don't have to split your solo revenue. Am I missing something here?
Well, yeah, you're missing the ownership of the intellectual property.
The masters.
Right, yes. Setting up a one-person agency means Jihyo would literally have to hire her own accountants, run her own payroll, and pay for her own studio time.
Which sounds exhausting.
The overhead is terrifying compared to the safety net of JYP, for sure. But under the Big Four system, the agency takes a massive cut of your solo work to fund the corporate building, the rookie groups, and the shareholders.
That's true.
In a one-person agency, Jihyo assumes all the financial risk, but she retains 100% of her master recordings, her brand deals, and her creative direction. For an artist 12 years into her career, owning your IP is the ultimate endgame.
Okay, that makes total sense for Jihyo when you put it like that. And then you look at Tzuyu, the maknae.
Right, our visual queen.
After releasing her solo about Tzuyu, News One actually reported she's looking at a Taiwanese agency established by her mother.
Yeah, I saw that.
That feels like a very strategic move to solidify her dominance in the greater China market, which, requires a very specific, localized management approach that JYP might not really be equipped to handle.
Precisely. And then Dahyun is the complete wild card in all of this.
She really is.
Half the ONCEs are convinced she's leaving for a dedicated acting agency to build her screen portfolio. But then recently, JYP posted a very public job listing for an actor manager.
Oh, I saw that. Netizens were immediately claiming it was a desperate corporate play to keep her in the building.
Oh, her brand.
Basically saying, look, Dahyun, you don't need to leave to act. We'll literally build an acting department for you.
It's a total strategic chess match right now. But we really have to ask if this separate but together blueprint actually works long term. People keep bringing up BLACKPINK as the comparison.
I hate that comparison. It's an entirely different business model.
Thank you. I'm so glad you said that. When BLACKPINK's members left YG Entertainment for their solo endeavors, it was a seismic shift. But BLACKPINK only have 4 members.
Exactly. 4 is very different from 9.
So different. And more importantly, those 4 members built massive, highly distinct individual identities and luxury brand ambassadorships from the very beginning of their careers.
Yeah.
Their solo power almost rivals their group power.
Whereas Twice is a powerhouse specifically because of their group dynamic. They are the ultimate group-first entity.
They really are.
Their choreography, their vocal distribution, their variety show appearances, it all relies on the synergy of 9 people. You can't just strip away half the members and have the same product.
Which brings us back to your Avengers analogy.
Yeah.
Super Junior and 2PM have managed the separate but together model, but it requires a level of compromise, ego-checking, and scheduling gymnastics that is nearly unprecedented for a currently active, top-tier K-pop girl group.
Yeah, it sounds exhausting.
The blueprint sounds incredibly utopian on paper, but executing it without the group eventually fading into an indefinite hiatus is incredibly fraught.
Well, and the financial reality of this uncertainty is already hitting hard. Let's talk about the money, because JYP Entertainment is bleeding on the stock market.
It's brutal to watch.
On the mere rumor of these contract doubts, JYP's shares plummeted by like 7 to 8%. Furthermore, their Q2 operating profit is down 41.4% to roughly 31 billion won. How does a company lose nearly half its operating profit just on uncertainty?
Because in the K-pop industry, an agency's valuation isn't just based on the albums they sold yesterday. It's based on the guaranteed future labor of their top intellectual properties.
That makes sense.
If investors don't know for a fact that Twice is going to tour next year, that future revenue is effectively erased from the projections entirely.
And if you want to know how serious this is, just look at the financial analysts. Analysts at SK Securities are literally ringing the alarm bell, telling investors that TWICE's contract limbo combined with the looming military enlistments for stray kids is a massive risk factor for JYP's mid to long-term earnings.
It's a perfect storm.
It really is. TWICE is an undeniable cash cow. Their recent This Is 4 tour wasn't just a few arena dates, it was 81 concerts with 1.82 million attendees worldwide.
Just insane numbers.
And they were the first K-pop girl group to win at the 2026 American Music Awards. They aren't just a music act, they are a structural pillar of the South Korean entertainment economy.
Yeah, and when an economic pillar starts to wobble, the market panics.
Yeah.
But let's step away from the corporate doom and gloom and bring the hype back for a second.
Yes, please.
Who is actually staying? Because the K-Nets have been doing some intense detective work.
You cannot hide anything from a dedicated netizen.
You really can't.
Yeah.
They noticed that Dahyun was recently spotted in the UK, and the person traveling with her was Jane Kim, JYP's head of A&R.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and this instantly sparked massive comeback rumors and speculation that Dahyun has already quietly renewed her exclusive contract.
Let's clarify what that means, though, because people hear A&R and think of a glorified tour manager. What does the head of A&R actually do in the middle of a contract renewal season?
So A&R stands for artists and repertoire. They are the ultimate deal makers. They bridge the gap between the label's budget and the artist's creative demands.
Right.
They find the producers, select the demo tracks, and map out the sonic direction of an artist's next 2 to 3 years. If the head of A&R is personally flying to the UK with Dahyun, they aren't just sightseeing.
Obviously not.
They are scouting producers, securing international collaborations, and structuring a very expensive, long-term creative deal. You don't invest that kind of corporate infrastructure into an artist who's packing her bags.
That makes perfect sense. Dahyun has received incredibly successful solo support from JYP, so staying is a logical move.
Yeah.
And then there's the Japanese subunit, Misama-sana, Momo, and Mina.
Nice.
The general consensus among the fandom is that their contracts might already be locked in. They are actively promoting, JYP is pushing their subunit heavily across Japan, and you simply don't fund a massive promotional cycle for artists who are about to jump ship.
Exactly. So while the landscape is undeniably fracturing, the core foundation of TWICE Eon might still retain a permanent address at JYP. It proves that even when the logistics are a nightmare, their 12-year bond is strong enough to at least attempt this new Avengers-style model.
It's going to be a fascinating few months watching this play out, that's for sure. But as we established at the top of the deep dive, TWICE represents the struggle to keep a genuine bond alive despite corporate fiction. Later in the episode. Wait, actually, I want to completely flip the script right now.
Let's do it.
What happens when the corporate structure is flawlessly intact, but the human bond is publicly shattering?
Oh, man. The Corda situation.
Yeah.
It is the dark mirror to everything we just discussed.
It really is. Let's break down this breaking news regarding the HYBE boy group, Cordis. This entire controversy blew up over a casual TikTok live.
Which is always where it starts.
Always. During the broadcast, one of the members, James, openly admitted to ignoring his fellow member Martin's phone calls when Martin was locked out and trying to be let into a room.
Yeah.
And then James casually followed it up by stating he doesn't even have the other member's phone number saved in his phone.
I mean, it was one of those live broadcast moments where you could practically hear the collective gasp from the fandom.
For sure.
K-pop groups are marketed, first and foremost, on the illusion of brotherhood. Fans don't just buy the music, they buy into the narrative that these boys are a found family.
Exactly.
To hear an idol casually admit to not even saving his groupmates' numbers, it shatters the core product they're selling.
And the fan reactions have been explosive, and it quickly escalated beyond just one awkward comment.
Oh, way beyond. K-Nets and a massive portion of international fans went on the offensive immediately. They started digging through years of archival footage, pointing out a supposed pattern of shady behavior from James towards Martin.
Right.
The biggest flashpoint they pulled up was a past vlog incident where Martin allegedly had to sleep in a cold corridor. Fans are weaponizing this new TikTok live as definitive proof of deep-seated mistreatment and bullying within the group.
Now, I want to pause here and speak directly to you, the listener. We are impartially reporting on the crossfire of this fandom warfare.
Right, just laying out the facts.
We're simply conveying the facts of the video and the intense reactions it sparked online. We are not taking sides, and we are not endorsing any specific viewpoint on the internal, behind-the-scenes dynamics of Cordis. Our goal is to analyze the mechanics of the fallout.
And looking at both sides of that fallout, is crucial because the defense mounting from James's supporters is equally passionate.
They are definitely fighting back.
Yeah, a lot of fans are aggressively defending him, claiming these short clips are being taken wildly out of context to fit a malicious narrative. They've cited a very detailed clarification document put together by a Vietnamese fan base.
Oh, interesting.
According to their translation and timeline, the corridor sleeping incident was a completely different situation, where Martin fell asleep by accident while waiting for staff. And James actually expressed concern on camera that it was dangerous for him to be out there.
Wow, that totally changes the context.
It really does.
Oh.
Hit that subscribe button so you never miss a KT update, because the way this HYBE drama unfolds will tell us a lot about how agencies handle internal PR crises moving forward.
It's terrifying when you think about how microscopic the lens is on these idols. A single, perhaps poorly thought out comment on a TikTok live can trigger a full-blown forensic investigation by netizens.
Yes.
They will pull up a 3-second glance from a variety show 4 years ago and present it as irrefutable evidence of a toxic workplace.
It really highlights the immense crushing pressure of the idol industry. We demand that these young adults present a flawless, familial bond 24/7.
Yeah.
But the reality is they are coworkers. Sometimes coworkers are best friends. Sometimes coworkers are just people who happen to share an office, or in this case, a dorm and a stage. When the reality of coworkers who might not particularly get along seeps through the highly polished idol veneer, the fan backlash is severe because they feel lied to.
That's such a good point. And when you put these two stories side by side, the contrast is staggering. You have Twice-wise who are actively restructuring their entire professional lives, taking on massive financial risks and logistical headaches, all while desperately trying to protect their personal bonds so they can keep performing together.
Yeah, the contrast is crazy.
And then you have Cordis, where the multi-million-dollar corporate machine is keeping them under one roof, but the personal bond appears to be collapsing under the weight of public scrutiny.
Which brings us to the ultimate takeaway, and it's a broader point I want you to mull over after this deep dive ends.
Oh, let's hear it.
As the legendary third-generation K-pop groups age into their 10th and 12th years, is the traditional 7-year exclusive agency contract officially dead? Think about the evolution of the industry. With idols gaining more leverage, recognizing the value of their individual IP, and seeing the sheer logistical difficulty of keeping massive 9-member groups locked under one corporate roof, will future rookie groups look at Twice and start demanding separate but together clauses from day one?
Wow, day one.
Could we see a future where idols protect their individual visuals and personal brands with separate management right from their debut, completely bypassing this messy market-crashing restructuring a decade later?
You've been listening to StarScope K-Report, where Eric and Minji bring you the stories shaping K-pop, K-dramas, and the global Hallyu wave. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.